It is time back. Greetings and salutations, race fans, motorsport lovers, and others, and welcome to Raceday. Welcome to a full program. We have guests in Saudi Arabia. We have guests in the studio. We even have a pet. Benjamin is around here. Let's go through and introduce everybody. Hennie de Klerk, Adrian Rutz and Johan Smallberger are in the studio with us from Treasury One Racing. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. We had some fun and games with names. So good to have you back here. FOMO much?
Yeah, big time, eh?
No, but you haven't been there.
Never, yeah.
It's coming. And in the studio for you who've got questions and answers and to win a prize, we've got Andrew the Horn Dog. So,
hello everybody. How you doing, Colin?
Fabulous, how are you?
Oh, great to be here.
Are you ready for the avalanche of apologies that are going to be directed the way of Giniel de Villiers and Dennis Murphy and the TGR Toyota Gazoo Racing team? Because on the southern tip of this continent, close to the sea, somewhere in the Eastern Cape, is Steffi Vetter from the Southern African Dakar Group. Steffi, it was a bike day today, but 100 and how many kilometers did they ride?
100 and something million and 10. Hello Hennie, hello Adrian, hello Johan, Carl, Andrew. It's so good to be back. Another hectic day, Colin. I mean, really, another crazy stage 6 for the riders. The route bared its teeth, and unfortunately, Rossi and Danilo fell to those teeth that bit seriously hard today. You or can't you ride on a track that cars and trucks and side-by-sides and camels have been on before? It's all coming up tonight.
Well, some say you can, others say you can't. All we know is that Ross is hurting, but we'll get to the details of that. Let's get this elephant that's been lurking in this room, and lurking since there was the occupation of cars and bike at the same time and moment. So after Giniel was accused of deliberately driving over motorbikes, the social media went mad and everybody started saying what a nasty guy he was and the horrible things that he'd done. But after being given a 5-hour penalty, when in my mind the organizers and the FIA jumped to a conclusion before they saw the depth of the jump, they didn't have all the information. At mid-afternoon today, decision number 14 of the 5th of January is cancelled. The clerk of the course is requested to delete the 5 hours time penalty. So basically, they saying we screwed up. And they based the penalty on the fact that there's a sentinel system in the car, and that when the bike sends out a signal to say, listen, I'm over the edge of the hill, it's supposed to be heard by the car. Giniel and Dennis said they didn't hear it, and the FIA didn't, or the stewards didn't believe them, so they smashed them with a penalty. I am told from a very reliable source that they were then invited by the team to come and show them how this sentinel system worked on the car, and they couldn't find it to work. Oops. Problem. So the organizers give them a piece of safety equipment to put in a car that malfunctions, and then they blame the driver for it. So for all of you people, you know who you are. Yes, all you oaks who said that they should, all the nasty things you said to Giniel, and you piled on the thing. You owe Giniel de Villiers and Toyota a massive apology. You know who you are. You're schlicking now. You know you were wrong. And let it be a lesson to all of us. Let's wait until we can see the bigger picture, until we understand the facts, and then let's have a measured response. That is my rant over. Go and apologize, because Giniel is a proper driver. He wouldn't do something to harm anybody. Right.
Colin, if I can add something to that, I mean, because Johan and I have both been there. So when someone switches on the sentinel, I mean, you can hear it clearly in the car. It goes brrr, brrr. And I always say, and I said to Adrian specifically, when you get into the dunes, from a learning experience, you hear that. If you're in the dunes and you hear that, then you can't see the car, because remember, that's why you're hearing it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you almost get out of the line, because it could be a car. I mean, if that was a car stuck there, Giniel would have driven into him, hypothetically. Giniel wouldn't purposefully drive over someone, meaning because if you hear that sound, you're going to try and look for an alternative route. Because imagine it was another car who broke down and Giniel could beach onto the car, and then you can't reverse. Then you're stuck, race over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's.
And I don't believe the people who would deliberately go out and not care, because we know the spirit of Dakar. The spirit of Dakar is, we're all in this together, and there's a team.
Yeah, yeah. So it all make all sense that he didn't hear it, you know, and then then he went over it, because as soon as you are realistic, as soon as you hear it, you are very attentive, because you don't know all you know is someone is stuck.
And there's trouble coming, because that's why it's going karkar in your ear.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on with that. What it does mean is that he's in 4th place overall, but in Saudi Arabia, in the bivouac, the big man himself, Skalk Burger. Congratulations on the achievement that you've got. You've made it through 6 stages of racing. You got to Raceday. Skalk, how was the drive today?
Yes. Yeah, so firstly I want to say again to Hennie de Klerk sitting there, thank you for giving me a lot of advice. You know, small things that he told me that helped so much and made my life so far so much easier. And then for those that doesn't know, Hennie de Klerk and Johan Smallberger were, when they did the Dakar, they were the rookies. They won the rookie class, and I thought that's going to be an easy record to break. And sorry, Hennie, I have to apologize. I'm going to leave it like that. Your record's going to still stand. I'll have to come back, but I won't be able to break it as a rookie this time. But
unfortunately,
well, you know, I realize how tough this race is. We had 6 days of racing, and I think everything and anything that could have happened to me did happen to me. Are we still on there?
Yeah.
And
still working.
So unfortunately we had some bad luck, and I think, you know, life lessons that and I said this before, you know, you have to have some life experience to go through this, and just keep on going. And everything doesn't work always out as you would like it, but yeah, we're still in Dakar and we're still in the competition, and I think we're now about 100 days behind the leaders, but yeah, now about finishing Dakar to get to the end.
Skalk, you finished in 48th position today, but you're a guy who loves numbers. At the last waypoint, you were in position number 50, which you know what the numbers mean. It's absolutely fantastic. I think it would have been totally appropriate to get there, but to finish an hour off the lead, starting where you did start in the, I was going to say the rats and the mice, but let's call it the trucks and in the pack. It's rough starting down there.
Yeah, we had, like you all know, all the drama we had, but let's just say for focus for today. Today we started at 168, I think, something there. And like you say, you basically just behind the sweep car or just in front of the sweep car. And I was collecting the bikes next to the road. So far behind I was. So, but it's a you know, you get, and Hennie will and Johan will know this. You get to the
Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
You get to the fish area where it becomes so unbelievable that you can't see, and it nearly caused me to go off the cliff at one stage. And to catch up from the back it takes some attention and detail. And but we had a good run today. We only had one puncture. We got lost on two points, but got quickly back onto them. And yeah, and we're starting to pick away from the back.
And Skulk, what happened to the body work? We see that you finished without some body work on the car. What happened during the race?
Yeah, so right in the start, I picked up a puncture in the first, I would say about 20 kilometers of the stage. And then when we picked up the puncture, it threw up a rock up to the bodywork. And it's carbon fiber, so obviously it doesn't, it's very strong, but it takes a knock, and as soon as it takes a knock, and with the speeds we did today, we did I would say about 50% of our speed today were on 170 kilometers per hour. You may not exceed 170, so, but we did about 30%, 170 kilometers today. And the wind just destroyed it. And I came back home with half a car, and you know, an accident happens so quickly on this race. You know, people that's not here and don't experience it, don't understand and can't judge as easy as we experience with our teammate. You know, and I see it as a teammate because Giniel is part of a South African. He represents us, and it even happened today with me. You know, where I bust, like Hennie explains, you press a button to say to the guy, I'm on my way and I'm coming. And the side-by-side was notified 3 times about that I'm coming. And the next moment he just turned right in front of me, and I hit him in the front. And luckily he could go on and I could go on. So I had my fair share today. And the accident happens. It happens very quickly. At these speeds we're doing and blind speeds we're doing, it happens very easy.
To go and complete this race, Hennie, you as a driver, and even co-drivers, you have to focus all the time and almost be ahead of the car.
Yeah. I think Glenn put it nicely in the other day when we chatted about Dakar. It's the only sport where you're spending so much continuous concentration time at any given time. You know, that 400 kilometers, 3.5 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. You got to concentrate, you know, it's like local racing and Adrian knows. You're on the limit all the time. And look at, you know, that other Toyota that went over. He just, you know, like it's the old saying, it's 8,000 kilometers to get finished, but 1 kilometer, you know, to lose it all.
And that's, I mean, 5 kilometers an hour slower.
Sorry.
And the thing wouldn't
Colin.
kick. Yes, Skulk.
Hennie, I would like you to retract that statement, you know. It's only top drivers like you that does it in 3.5 hours. The rest of us do it in
sorry,
5
you were
to 6
breaking
hours,
up there,
7 hours.
Skulk. Skulk, you were breaking up there. We didn't hear.
I was thinking about your last day, Skulk. You're going to get better, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, that's only 160 kilometers. Yeah, thank you very much.
But to sit in the car for 4 hours, 6 minutes and 50 seconds and focus proper it's a mega achievement.
Skulk, what I'd just like to tell you...
That was the first for me today. I haven't experienced that little seat time on the Dakar yet. So, and it was the first for me to come back in the daylight. So that's also a first for me. It's actually quite nice here when you arrive in the day.
And I'm told that there isn't such a long... that you have one of the shorter work lists on your car than some of the other cars in the bivouac today.
Yeah, that is, you know, that was my claim to fame the first 3 days, and then we had to change the engine.
Skulk, I think you've got Henk on your right-hand side, and you'll be a very happy man tonight to see there's more damage on your side of the car than on his. Normally, we sit in the suicide side.
Even he smiled today when we got at daylight back to the bivouac.
Yeah, no, that's great, man.
And plans for tomorrow, Skulk, from your point of view, what are you guys going to, I mean, clearly the guys will all work on the car and get the car sorted. What's your job for tomorrow?
So, you know, I must honestly say to you, I took my team away from the bivouac tonight and brought them to a hotel so that they can have a proper rest for the first time this week. And have a proper shower and a proper bath, and not share a shower and bath with 5,000 people. So just to give them just to bring them back to some sanity. tomorrow we'll all get up late and sleep a little bit in, and they'll be off back to the bivouac to go and prepare the car for the next week. My plan is just to rest a little bit, and I'm gonna make sure that we braai something tomorrow at the bivouac while they're busy preparing the car, so that they feel at home a little bit. So we've got 6 flatties chickens here, and got some chaka, and we got a braaier. So I'm gonna braai for them tomorrow, and keep them entertained while they work.
We know how Skulk walks around a braai fire with a cool drink.
Yeah.
Scott, you've got to enjoy that. We'd love for you to, if you've got time, to stay on with us. We're going to the program of the show. We want to talk a little bit about some motorbikes, go to the social media, and then talk to the Treasury One team about where they're going, and then sit and have a discussion of the results. If you can stay with us, Skulk, it would be fantastic, and feel free to chip in at any time as we go through the day. Andrew, you clearly by now have got 1,000,007 apologies to Giniel.
We've got a lot of people saying your point was very well made, very well said, and I'll agree 100% with that. My 2 cents worth is we took a lot of flack for not reporting on it yesterday.
Yeah, but we big and we tough and we strong and we wait until we know.
Exactly, and I think that's got to be the lesson to everybody. Is I made the comment last night. Bear with us. When we've got something solid, we'll give you something. We knew it was under appeal. We didn't want to pour petrol on the fire.
Yeah.
We've now reported on it. The one question we have had, which is quite interesting, is does Giniel still have to fix his bike and pay the entry for next year? And I think he's an honourable guy. He will follow through with that. It was NASA that's going to pay the entry, but yeah, I'm sure they will.
Let's just leave it there. And when all of you guys have met somebody who's dissed Giniel, and just remind them to take a deep breath and DBAC and apologize to the guys who they're nasty with. I think the principle should be you only write something on a keyboard if you got the things to look in a guy in the eyes, in amongst the eyes, and say that same thing to him. Right, moving on. Let's talk about motorbikes. Steffi, your favorite thing, but it was such a short race, but so much action. And it started off, 30 kilometers into the race because now, just to recap, yesterday the cars, the trucks, the side-by-sides and the side-by-sides and the racing prototypes, lightweight vehicles, went through these tracks and they churn it up, and then today they put the motorbikes on it. So what can go wrong? It's not a problem. They've got suspension and knobbly tires. The oaks are tough as hell. What happened?
And off we go. You know what, Colin? No one suspected that this would happen today. Possibly people were a bit skeptical because they were running the bikes on the track that the trucks and the cars and the side-by-sides had been on yesterday. Everything was going fine. Rossi goes missing in action. Danilo goes missing in action. And obviously our collective breath in Africa just go, oh, where is Rossi? We then hear that Danilo's taken a spill, a high side, but he's back up again. Yeah. And there's, radio silence on Rossi. We don't know what's happening. In the meantime, 40 kilometers in, Chucky Sanders and the hunting Hondas of Ricky and Pablo Quintanilla are now chasing hard. We knew this was going to happen yesterday because look where they started in the starting order yesterday. Interesting, Elena, only 7 of the top finishers the 7 of the top finishers today were in the second half of the bikes yesterday, which is exactly what we've been talking about every day. Then the news comes through that Rossi is now out of the race, in inverted commas, because we don't speculate. He's been taken to the bivvy, getting checked by the meds, and he's off to hospital. We still don't hear anything. Then we hear that the race has been stopped at kilometer 101. Then everybody panics. Is Ross going to be in the race? Is he going to be out the race? Where are they going to take the race, the actual finishing positions? But in the meantime, the top 40 are out hunting. They are gone. Danny, Matthias, Sam, they're all way, way down. Send out the helicopters, stop the race at kilometer 101, And then I'm afraid to say all hell breaks loose all over the world, because it's going to scramble up the entire positions. What are they going to do about Rossi? Can he not start? So it's been a heck of a day. It's been incredibly emotional. There are two sides to the story. So what we're hoping to do, again, is take a measured response to both of the reactions that are happening. Obviously, the Americans are coming. There's one reaction there. And the Southern Africans are seriously upset. So is Danilo, by the way. He's really super upset. But our beloved Rossi is okay. He's okay. He's got bruising in the muscles. He's got bleeding in the muscles. He took a knock. It was an unmarked caution, which had been churned up because of the trucks and the trains and the camels and the kitchen sink that had been over there. But we're not going to make a call on whether or not he'll start on Sunday. He's got a rest day tomorrow, and they will reassess his condition on Sunday and make the call. Is Rossi going to race? That's where we're at right now, before we even get to the results.
And he had no warning about it, because he's opening the road and he's lying on wide open on the throttle, and then boom. Which is not.
Yeah, Colin, it's not ideal. If you look at what happened yesterday, look, the rain has completely created a different scenario from when those road books were done. So those road books were done in ideal conditions. The rain has played havoc in Saudi. You've got uncharted territory, you've got rocks, you've got trucks submarining through wadis, the washers are gone. And this was an unmarked caution, possibly created by trucks coming through, cars coming through, rocks being up. And unfortunately for Danilo and Rossi, who were pinning it, they fell victim to this unmarked caution. To later speak to Brad and listen to Brad's take on the day later in the program. But it is a very contentious issue, and emotion is running the bus right now, and we need to chat about it after we've done the results and just calm troubled waters.
That thing, emotion, you're a Forex man. Racing and Forex is the same stuff. You don't fiddle with the emotions. And I was going to say woman, but that's not quite emotion. I mean, racing and Forex, you must be calm. Take the emotions out of it.
Absolutely. Don't think of your head.
Don't think with your head.
Don't think.
I never try and think with.
Colin, I've got a question for
Yes.
Steffi. Online Motorcycle Gear posted a question, why a 10-hour penalty for Ross? Looking at the results, it's a 15-hour 30 penalty. I'm assuming that's for missing waypoints and blah, blah, blah. But with the race being stopped, we don't know how that's going to play out yet, do we?
Andrew, apparently the issue is he didn't complete the stage, therefore there's a penalty.
Fair enough.
So, but we will wait for Sport Teddy to tell us when the official piece of paper comes out. We'll know the reasons. Let's quickly go into the highlights of the cars. And I suppose there are two highlights. If you're English, the Prodrive Hunter has won again. So second stage, but with an Argentinian. I mean, it's great. The Falklands War is barely over, and the Argentinian driver takes the English to win. And then Sir Chermans came in second, Matthias Ekstrom. That guy is probably has a deep-seated future for Audi, and he's fallen absolutely in love with this Dakar race. 3 hours and 6 minutes. So there's a minute off this, and there was massive fighting. Henk opened the road and did an absolutely sterling job, but they did have some punctures and it was not easy. They took a wrong turning. Brian Baragwanath in the Century. Now we've got to just talk about the Centuries, because they were going like smoke as well. Right up in the top 20, Matthew Serradori's up there. They were really quick in the sand. And just check these things. We've got to have the sound up, because this. Just say that again.
That's a proper way to cross it.
You get to the top brake and at a little bit of an angle.
Yeah, always angle, yes, yeah.
Why?
Yeah, because obviously your weight, and obviously if you go like, if you're too slow, you'll get stuck. And obviously if you're too quick, you've got a lot more room for error, because if you go like this, you'll crash on your nose.
Yeah.
But if you go sideways, you can jump it quite aggressively.
And you get used to this thing the way you surf them.
Yeah, easily, yes, yeah, eventually, But then also, interesting, you develop you develop a favorite, either left or right.
What's your favorite?
I think I prefer the navigator to be.
We must the danger side. We always want that.
So that left-hand drive you can see, but I would have preferred coming from the other side. But you got to do both. But interesting, you have the option. You favor. It's like left and right hand. But that's perfect. I mean, you can even do it more aggressively. That is how I can do it. But I see the top guys. They break even a little bit harder at the top. But then you really got to have. It's a small margin, but you got to be at the 45-degree angle kind of stuff.
Oh, interesting. I love how. The cool thing about the guests that we have is we learn every day, don't we, Andrew? One day is one day. We'll get there. Giniel, we've got to mention him because he's a good guy. He came in 14th. Ernest Roberts in the 29th. Okay, forget the results of the position. 19 minutes. It's about time. Who cares on the position? And then
I'm just glad that Ernest, they're starting to find the rhythm.
Yeah, and they again had to go through because of the issues. You get back in the rat pack, and you've now got to build up and build up.
When he had to pass gazillion people. And the most important thing, they find their rhythm now. I think they're not trying to chase that much anymore. They're just trying to get, look after the car, get through the day, and then they'll pick up rhythm. They must just stick to their knitting now. This is not a sax race. It's not a one-day race. You've got to be a bit more voorzichtig, but you can see they're finding the rhythm. I think they're going to have an awesome. Everybody, all that free, Century guys, and obviously Brian, they're all going to, but especially Skulk and Ernest and Chris, going to come through strongly in the second half now. Because I think that first half, you find your feet there. If you can survive up to race day, you have a nice rest, and then you go for the, then you go for the finish.
And then build it up, and then the last 2 days start.
Yes.
Because by then you've moved up in the starting positions, and you're a little bit more comfortable with it, and you haven't got so many.
I think up until race day, your aim is to get to race day, and remember, it's all of them. It's new, for Chris when he's done one, but many years ago. And then when Brian, not Brian, a Skulk, and then Ernest, it's new. Just get to race day, which they've done. It's phenomenal. Have a rest, recoup, and talk to your navigator, and then you plan for the second half. And then you go. Then you know you can make it.
Because you've got a lot more experience and confidence in it.
Yeah. Because remember, now your focus is to finish. The first half is just to get to the race day, and now you can recoup and to say, okay, now what are we gonna do now to get? We need to make sure we finish now.
And we're talking about two specific. There are two races within a race. One is the racer races, the factory teams and all the rest of it, and the other people are the probably, I don't know how to put it, more gentleman drivers, experienced people. Private, there we go. Skulk, are you still with us?
People with checkbooks, pay yourself.
Okay, Skulk had to go, and there were lots of issues. And it's a big difference when somebody else is paying.
Yes.
And
when you drive a top drive, you got to drive fast because you're a paid driver. When you pay yourself, mistakes are for your account.
You're a works driver because you've got to work hard the whole year.
Exactly. Yes. So you're a proper works driver.
And the other thing about this last couple of days, your car's already taking a pounding.
Yeah.
You must look after it. There can be sort of cracks somewhere that you don't know about. It can come out after you hit a ditch on the last section of the race. So you must still look after your tools, You can't just go mad till the end, then you might not get there.
It was interesting talking to Henk when yesterday, I think it was. And he said these cars you can hit things a lot harder. Now, there's a true factory driver, flat out. He knows, Glenn's given him a tool and a mission. And he will use that tool up. As long as it breaks, just as you cross the finish line, perfect.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. When you speak to Glenn and they say when they look at those cars afterwards, if he doesn't have a certain amount of cracks, it means you didn't drive hard enough. It's almost built to get cracked. He almost wants to see those hairline cracks afterwards. If he doesn't see it, hey, Yeah, there was minutes left in his car which he didn't use.
Some of the other highlights in Klaardegaan, they were 24 minutes off, and Chris Visser, who I think is to go from a four-wheel drive 2 weeks before the time, do a little bit of testing, jump in there. He's also got a,
He's finding his rhythm.
They went up a creek that they shouldn't have gone up. He was.
I think he's going to have a phenomenal second off. He's going to surprise a lot of people.
And then the two Audis, Stefan Peter Hansel and Carlos Sainz. When Audi get all three of those cars to fire at the same time.
Next year.
Yes, like then done. Then we have some trouble. And Daniel Schroeder. And Ryan Bland brought up the last of the South African finishes, 1 hour and 2 minutes.
It's not really
behind.
South African, it's just a South African car.
Yeah, but we take them as South Africans because, I mean, that's a WCT, your team, they built that car.
No, it's a Nissan.
Yeah, but I'm very sure that
they only take care of the car, they only do the maintenance.
But still, it's a Terrence car.
Yeah,
it's a Redline car.
We'll take it as a South African team.
It's a South African car.
There are some people that we adopt and other people that we unadopt. If you're South African and you don't do lacquer, then we unadopt you.
We unadopt.
So we need to go and talk. Steffi has got to do results of her bikes because she likes. I mean, and if we go out of order, you know what women are like. They let us think we're in charge, but actually, Steffi, you're in charge. Tell us the magic of the awesomeness of the 100-kilometer sprint race that wasn't the bike race today.
Okay, Colin, so I am in charge, but I actually want to go back to Adrian. Adrian, I'm very interested, and I know I'm treading in waters that I'm not supposed to, but I'm really interested to have your take on how the navigation has been so far. Look, we've been talking to drivers on the ground, riders on the ground, had a long chat to Len Kramer this afternoon. What is your take on where those navigators and our rookie navigators out in the desert is? What is your take?
To me, in all honesty, I'd rather, as soon as you get lost or whatever, tell the driver as soon as possible and get back to the point you lost, what you got correct. And from there, I'd rather slow down the pace, and then as soon as, like Hennie said, as soon as you get back into the rhythm, then you can step up your game. That's the easy thing. But I think it all comes together about experience. The more time you spend in the car, the more time you spend navigating, especially the difference between the South African Championship and what you experience in the Dakar with only using the cap headings and stuff. It's quite interesting, and it makes it more challenging. You can get lost easily, and it makes it you have to be so much more aware of where you're going, what information the driver needs. And drivers, they differ. Some guys like a lot of information, some guys don't. Then they get pedantic.
And you're talking about experience. It's not just experience on navigating, but that part where you go off note.
Yes.
The experience between the two of you, that you, as you off note, not to panic and just let your guy know, and you must drive what he sees until you've caught up. And it's a relationship thing where you don't want to murder each other because you both make mistakes.
In the car between the navigator and the driver. I mean, Johan would know. I'm jumping in here on Adrian's stage. You know, we got lost. You know, but the thing is, you don't know when you're lost that you're lost until you know you're lost. And then you know, then you don't know where you are, okay? You know, and I'm saying that specifically.
But you're never lost because you always know where you are. You're just not where you should be.
Yes, and remember, but there's no GPS. There's no that you can turn around and say anything.
There's no real.
You got to try and go back to the previous point and find your calendar. It's just
And there's no Alexa. Imagine if your co-driver was called Alexa.
If I could jump in very quickly on that. Does that create friction between the two of you?
Of course, That's why they put the navigator, they measure your arm, okay? And they make sure he doesn't sit
and strap you down.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
But the other way around as well. They sometimes don't listen.
That's a very interesting, that comment came up with Brian and Leonard, where they were talking one kind of language, and they were really, really, really quick, but it wasn't going so smoothly, and they changed the language.
That's what I'm saying. That was what I'm saying. Hennie likes his notes in a specific way. Lance that I race with in the nationals, he likes his notes in the other way. So you got to understand the driver, how he anticipates and talk his language.
But
Lovely, Steffi, we hijacked your question. I'm sorry.
But you almost got to ask Johan, how easy it is to follow those notes, because it's just GPS coordinates, and you think there's a big track, but you still get lost, amazingly.
To get lost is very easy.
Yeah.
Especially if you drive up riverbeds, there's a lot of streams coming in and they all look the same. And if we maybe just made a little bit of turn to give you more distance, it will look like you're on the right spot. But actually you've made up distance by not being on the exact route. And then the count will be right, but the turn is not right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that you must keep in mind. And like Hennie said, the relationship must be good. You must understand when he gets psyched up, you must calm him down and the other way around.
Yeah, when
if I get lost,
more than 80%, yeah.
You'll have a problem with that.
Yeah, he always drives 80%.
Here's a comment for you. Men never get lost. We're just exploring.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. And why is it that the voice on your navigator, like Google Maps and all of that, it's always a woman? Why? Because apparently they know. Steffi, I'm sorry, we got sidetracked. Do you know how nice it is to have little furry friends in the studio here? Fritzy, this is Benjamin. Benjamin is one of the finest beasts I've ever known. Anyway, Steffi, motorbikes.
On that note, it was so interesting listening to Johan. Thank you, because obviously again today at 100 kilometers navigation, it has reared its ugly head. And let me tell you, Daniel, Chucky Sanders, Sam and Matthias took full advantage of it. I just want to, before we carry on, I just want to send a huge message out to Team Branch. Guys, we're thinking of you. Rossi, as you know, is my absolute darling hero. And I just want to wish him all the best. I really hope Rossi can pull through this and can be racing again on Sunday, because it's important that he's there. Really, really, guys, vastbyt, julle kan dit maak. So, where were we on the race? What happened on this ridiculously short stage? Daniel Sanders, Chucky Sanders came in first, Sam second, Matthias third. The Hondas went hunting as we thought they would. So we had Pablo and Ricky Brayback right on their heels. I mean, the gaps are absolutely, there's just no gaps at all. There's only 5 minutes because it was such a shortened stage, which was stopped at kilometer 101. And there he is again, Mason Klein, coming in sixth. This boy is a phenomenon. I'm 100% sure he's going to still win this one day. Stefan Svitsko is still there. Arjan van Beveren, Yamaha, still showing up well with Toby Price and Joaquim Rodriguez in 10th. Look at 12th place, Bradley Cox. What a little legend. He's having the time of his life. I think he's being too hard on himself, but he really is just producing the goods out there. Johan Barreda Bort again in 14th. The Hondas didn't have enough time to launch their attack. Aaron Murray in 26th, with our guys, our Malamotor guys, coming through, doing what they have to do. The John Deere tractors getting through each day. Sharon in 28th, Stuart in 68th, Adna in 82nd, Paulo and Walter bringing up the end. And of course, Danilo and Rossi right down the order in 124th and million something. I mean, there's hardly any bikes left with a 15.5-hour penalty. Coming back to Johan van Zyl question. Hi, Johan. Thanks for sending it through. Look, it's probably to get the bike off the stage. As Colin said, we're waiting for the official penalty list from Sportity, and until then, we're not going to speculate on the whats and the whys and the hows.
Well, we can't. I mean, we've got a policy. You react on facts and wait. Every time, apparently, when you're in these heavy negotiations, I mean, I'm told that one should, instead of just saying something, just take a deep breath, think, and then speak. Apparently. I'm trying this new thing, Steffi, apparently. It works quite well. So that's our policy. We're not going to do that. It's a bit of let's go back to this short 100 kilos. It's kind of, when you stop something, if you've got a plan that's going to be a 3-hour race, and it suddenly gets stopped after an hour. You haven't had your time to bring your plan to fruition, and now the timing is not going to be there either to catch up or, you know, once one of you is going to get caught short and the other one's going to get caught long.
Look, Colin, there's two trains of thought. As I said earlier, I chatted to a lot of people all around the world. Obviously, the Americans are upset. They race on this kind of track all the time. They're there to race, you know, drink a cup of cement, harden up. The problem is, and this is the other side of the coin, is that there were obstacles that were unmarked on the roadbook. And unfortunately, Danilo and Rossi fell victim to those. So the controversy is starting there, but let's not make it a controversy. Let's just keep it calm. Keep it, you know, and we understand people are going to be highly emotional about this. Is it a bad idea to have a bike race run on a kart track the next day? Look, they did it in 2020, but the conditions were viable. You know, the road book was okay. They didn't have, like, as I said, those trucks submarining through those waddies. The problem, there is also the other side of the coin, is that you have to take an unbiased view with this. You've got to just say, the top riders could have done it. But think about the guy who mortgaged his house to get to Dakar. You know, if it was, say, for example, Stuart who'd hit that washout and, you know, had, you know, not been able to continue, these guys have put everything on the line to finalize and get their medal and their dream.
Yeah, but I don't like ifs, ands, or buts. You're kind of speculating, and that's in the forex traders' environment. So we only go on the facts. And anyway, it was stopped. It hasn't really fiddled the whole thing, the order up that much. You know, if I look at 16th as, I mean, on the overalls, because that's what this is about. Ultimately,
heart is broken because Rossi's fallen out of the top 10. You know,
yes,
sure
I mean, apart from
heart
Ross,
is broken.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Sam at the top, you've still got the highest Vulcan and the KTM. You've still got a 1-3 gas. So Sam and Daniel Chucky Sanders are out there hunting. Adrian van Beveren is still flying the flag high for Yamaha. The Hondas are right up there. Pablo Quintanilla, he just doesn't go away. He's as solid as a rock. Lorenzo Santolini on the Sherco with Spitko. Stefan Spitko right below him, 24 seconds off the pace of Sam. Kevin Benavides on the KTM, still the only KTM up there in the top 10. Johan Barreda, again, we were really surprised because he took a massive knock yesterday. And then Mason Klein zooms into the top 10 in the private Baz Dakar KTM racing team.
He's your new favorite, eh?
Well, listen, I was gutted when I spoke to America today, and I just said I'm so sad about Skylar. I mean, obviously we all devastated. Skylar's our adopted son. So, yeah, I'm more than joyful, and I'm overjoyed again, as I said, for Bart. He's got a stunning team. Those boys are just pinning it.
So I was really looking forward tomorrow being race day, and you know, for the last 2 years we've come into the studio and gone through a whole lot of interviews, and I really was hoping to catch up with our boy Skylar again tomorrow, but hey, that's not to be. Malimoto, which are the Mal, these oaks are mad. Oh, sorry, originals by Malimoto. Anyway, our boy,
my boys,
Sharon,
yeah, they're doing
third.
well. Sharon's in 3rd, JK's in 6th, John Kelly from Botswana, and Stu's in 11th, and Werner's in 20th. And they're having the time of their lives. Those boys look like they haven't even raced this week.
Well, Stuart's become our new guest correspondent. And Stuart, if you're watching, great job today. We're going to show your piece about how you cleaned your bike so hard. And we'll keep your toilet review for next time that we know Terence Marsh is watching. So, but we've got some other stuff coming up. Very short, just to throw forward in what we're going to do, we are going to talk about the Treasury One plans with brand new car. This thing is super new, and it's something that's really special, and then the racing program going forward.
I've already got comments on that.
We are going to talk some more stuff with Andrew, and we are going to go through some cars results. So, cool. Andrew, when you've got something that's really important?
I've got Cassie Kruger saying you forgot to mention Shamir Variawa, but I'm sure I heard you mention Shamir finishing 7th today. So
I didn't actually, because that
I'm
was
sure I
one of
heard
the
you mention.
standout performances. He was really up there. At one stage he was 5th, but also when the field starts so far, they're not track racing, everybody, you drive for positions. But the field is stretched out over 185 kilometers, and you've got to wait for, if there's a fast oak at the back, you've got to wait for him to get to the same point.
But we were just keeping Shamir, the best for last, because he was the best South African today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
and he's getting better
Also-
and better as time goes by.
Oh, absolutely.
He's getting into
Also in a
his-
new car, getting used to.
Yeah, he hasn't raced he's
The
just
big
tested
wheel.
the big wheel car.
Yeah. I think the last race they raced the big wheel, wasn't it?
No, no.
Not. Okay.
No, he was still in the small car for
Yes.
the SA Championship.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes, and by the way, I hadn't got to the details. I'll recover nicely and
good
move.
to know our audience pays attention, though.
Well, at least we've got an audience.
Well, we've got one.
I mean, pretty well. One is better than none. Thank you very much for
And
watching.
Cassie's actually coming
And
in
we will
tomorrow.
have
He
a
was our
competition
winner.
question.
He was our winner last night, so he's coming in tomorrow as well. So he really is. He's a super fan.
We've had so many winners because we had a filming session with one of our cap winner. If you watched the promo, you would have seen that we had him. But have we got that clip that we can show another winner? And if you win today's question, you can come into the studio tomorrow and collect it. And if you're really lucky and you're nice and not too much of a giant, we put you in one of these cars, this car right over here. There you are. Here's our winner. We're going all live as we're walking around the studio. So we brought him into the studio, and I mean, the guy was absolutely blown away. But moving swiftly back into this Matthias Ekstrom. Okay, so Steffi, you've got news apparently.
Hot news.
Colin, I do, and it's with the greatest of sadness, but I'm just really, really happy that he's in one piece. Monster Energy Yamaha Rally Team have announced that the race is over for Rossi. He did his best to ride it out, but unfortunately couldn't. He just wants to send all his best of luck to Adrian and Andrew for the rest of the rally, but they have withdrawn. It's terribly sad, but I'm just so happy that he's okay. He's in one piece. He's made us enormously proud. I cannot. I'm a bit gobsmacked. I'm so sad for them, but he's in one piece. He's okay, and he will come back and race another day, and he will win the Dakar.
Yeah, I know how close Ross is to he's a hero of yours. And I know how much it means to you. He's a hero for all of us, and let's wait for Ross. He will be back next year, and we will support him. And if Ross, anybody who's out there watching, send Ross a best of get well soon. Let's quickly get through the rest of the results. The time is ticking on. Look at the overalls and the strategy. The biggest thing that sticks out when I'm looking at the results is that I'm looking at 4th position, because I don't want to look anywhere else. And 4th position, car 207, Giniel de Villiers, Dennis Murphy. They are 51 minutes and 56 seconds behind the leader, who of course is Nasser Al-Attiyah. But in 3rd position, Sebi Loeb and Fabian lurking. Yeah, they are lurking there. And there's 50 minutes and 25 seconds behind the lead. And Yazid Al-Raji is 2nd, 48 minutes. So now just look at this. You've got 48 minutes, 50 minutes, 51 minutes, and then lots more time. So there's a lot of Toyotas there. You've got a Toyota, a Hunter, a Toyota, and a Mini. So there's so many Toyotas here. It's absolutely, they're doing a magnificent job. Orlando Terranova is in 8th. Martin Prokop in our token Ford is in 9th position. So the top of the centuries is 12th, Matthew Saradori, and then Chris Visser and Rodney Burke in 15th. They are 2 hours and 41, and around about that 2 hours 20, 2 hours 40. There's small gaps. So there's lots of chance for moving day, which in my day, I'm calling Sunday my moving day. And you asked about the trucks. I'm going to do my absolute best. I did a lot of research here. In truck number 500 in the overall, we do have a picture of this. The Russians have come. The Russians have dominated. So in the lead truck, Dmitry Sotnikov, Ruslan Akhmadiv, and Ilgiz, I'm sorry, I did practice it, I'm really big. Akhmedzanionov in a Kamaz Master. They've been racing for 22 hours. And then the Nikolaevs in another Kamaz, and then Shibalov in another Kamaz. But for those of you, there we go, you've been waiting to see this. This is a De Roy, Ivico, Jonas van Kasteren, Marcel Schneiders, and Derek Rodewald van der Holland. But they're like an hour and 4 minutes behind. The days of De Roy domination have gone. The Russians, they came, they did it, they conquered, and they even opened a few dancing schools. Horndog, questions?
No, outpouring of love for Ross, and then when we get to Hennie, we've got a lot to talk about with Hennie and his plans. So I will save what I've got for then. And we've got Cassie Kruger in again with just at the halfway point in Dakar, position 2 to 4 is separated by 3 minutes 2 seconds, which is crazy.
How cool is that?
Over the number of Ks they've done, I think that's, it's nothing.
That's the race.
Nothing.
The other thing is you're now probably looking at a podium shutout by Toyota.
Phenomenal, eh?
That would be something.
1, 2, and 3.
In a brand new car.
Yes, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely,
That,
yeah. In fact, it's probably going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then some minis. Provided, I mean, Sebi Loeb must be the most nervous oak in the world now because he's got the whole of England and the might of Bahrain is on his shoulders to bring home in amongst the South African domination.
Yeah. It's amazing, such an old colony dominating the British, eh?
Yes, you see.
Yeah.
For those.
Boere maak plan. Yeah.
You just need a little bit of help from some Japanese oaks
Yes.
and some German money,
Yes.
and then we can take over the world.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot of South African in those cars.
And without a doubt, the finest, well, that team, that Hall Speed team, has shown year after year after year the ability to design, develop, build and sell and race top class cars. They deserve every single thing.
But once again, if you think about how South Africa, how small we are, how, what's a big role we play in Dakar. Yeah,
CR6 is the Hilux.
No, we've only got 33
Fords.
South African cars out of 89 this year.
No, that's not too bad, eh?
Yeah.
Well,
Amazing,
at one year there was 48 odd of them, but next year there's going to be now let's just go straight there. Next year, have you decided who's navigating? Adrian?
Yeah.
Because he's skinnier
got the ticket.
and he goes to gym and he can lift the wheels up.
He got the golden ticket. He opened the chocolate bar.
Going to the factory shop.
Are you excited yet?
Yeah, no.
Have you started training hard?
We already started training last year,
Because remember we were supposed to be there.
Yes,
yeah.
But in October I pulled the plug and I said,
after the
And why
Kalahari
was
race.
that?
I think when a lot of it comes down to chart advice as well. We came back from the Kalahari and we spoke a lot. Once again, the BMW didn't hold up. It was an old car. They'd done a bit of mileage and stuff like that. And on the way back, we discussed various ideas. And then fundamentally I said, let's rather go for a new car. Dakar, we know Dakar so long, and the cars really work hard there. And you don't get to spend time on the car. You just spend time with the car, and you can just change stuff. And and also being a privateer and an amateur, you take 2 mechanics, where the top guys take 4 mechanics. It's 10,000 euros per mechanic, plus his fee. So you're in for R500,000 per person to take with you. So it really adds up. So if you're privateer, and you try to run a budget and trying to do it within. So like I said, the cars take too much punishment. Although the Amarok was rebuilt. And then the whole thing about the big wheels, and that's just a game changer. And I said, am I really going to try and fight with a, it's not an old car, it's dated, you know, from a technology point of view.
It's a great car, and it's still completely competent for a job.
Yes, yeah. But it doesn't have the big wheels, and it can't take the big wheels. And you can see how the big wheel cars dominate completely, you know. So just that the new travel you get and the bigger wheels, you know, from a sand point of view, and
and everything,
Yes,
and I think it's also going to get to a point where BF Goodrich, the tyre supply of the small tyres is going to get less and less, and they're going to focus all new technology on new toys, new shiny things.
And it's much cheaper to run the bigger tyre, if you think about it. You know, you use much less tyres, where I think you'll get a lot more punctures. Although only in a big car, you only allow 2 spare wheels versus 3. But you know, you've got a lot more travel with the suspension and with the wheel and so forth.
A lot more rubber between the rim and the obstacle as well.
Exactly, yes,
And it's always nice to have a new car.
Of course,
I mean, you can never have enough new cars. Except...
I don't know if that is that a question or is it a statement?
No, it's a statement.
Yes, as long as my wife doesn't know, you know, the old story.
The trick apparently is to like make sure that every new racing car you get is painted exactly the same as the other one.
Okay. Then
and you never change that, and then they'll never know. It's like golf clubs.
Unfortunately, you can't hide the big wheels.
No, well, it's like I can't hide my big bum. It's just, you know, it comes with old age. So that's exciting, and you've got the guys at WCT, Achim Bergman's doing that design tweak and all the rest of it.
So what we're building is the WCT Toyota big wheel, you know, T1 Plus car. So it's not a Toyota, it's not a whole-speed car. It's a WCT. Yes, but you can say it's almost built under license. We get a lot of the parts from Glen, you know. So you almost have 2 deals.
Chris.
Stuart and you know, that builds the car, you know, designs it, but you still buy a lot of stuff from Glen. You know, like the engine and the upright.
But it's not going to be the super mid-mount engine like Glen's car.
Yes,
That far back as well.
Absolutely. If it's Gary's new car. I mean, if you see, it's exactly Gary's new car with just an upgraded version, so you can take the big wheels. You know, so the engine is at the back. Even Adrian, you know, quite rightly said he wants to move his seat because the engine is so far back. The navigator, you know, your left foot, there's no space for your left foot. You've got to sit like this. And I think that will be, so we're going to move his seat a little bit. So he'll be facing a bit, like maybe 20 degrees to the right, and I'll be facing obviously straight. But because of the engine has moved back and so forth, you know, it's all behind the front.
It's quite exciting being able to make these little tweaks at this stage when a car's been designed around you.
Yes, there's a lot of input from us now. You know, so we want this, we want that. You know,
that's going to be a big advantage because, like, when we bought the BMW, it was very small.
Yes,
leg space was very little.
And I mean, that BMW has done its job.
It was a good car.
It's also a WCT car.
It's also time to go on pension now.
Jannie Visser bought it now from me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes,
Jannie's going to give it a good go again.
And you've got Chart, who's going to be helping build the car, put it together, and then run it.
Yes.
Chart actually commented, he says, Hennie, we're building the right car. We can see it's working well over here. So that then crosses over into another question we had from Nhlanhla Ngube saying, T1 or T1 Plus? It was you answered that already. I think.
T1 Plus.
Do you think? Do you think it'll be able to take the fight to the Audis once they've got themselves sorted, or do you think that electric or hybrid, should I say, is an advantage?
Well, it obviously because they're competitive, you know. But you know, I think apart from like I said, they definitely have the pace. And they've got the drivers now. If you see Peter Hansel and Sainz and so forth, and look at those Peugeots, they also struggled the first year with them.
And Ekstrom today put in a fantastic result. I mean, he's such a versatile driver. Across whatever he does, he seems to do well.
So I think anybody, if you compete at that level, you're not going to build an inferior car.
Not if you're Audi. Exactly. I mean, the Germans have lost many things. But eventually they got tired of losing, and they've got the thing where they go and win. I mean, they went to Le Mans, they won Le Mans. They went rallying with the Audis and
went to Formula 1 and they won, you know.
Way back then. What colour is this car going to be? Because we see orange and we see white.
Yeah.
Are we going to go with that Dayglow orange, Dayglow blue?
Yeah, so we'll probably have a lot of orange. You know, the orange and blue.
Orange is the new,
Yeah.
is the new colour.
That's it. Yeah.
And so it's going to have the Toyota. Are you going with the petrol motor or the turbo motor?
V8.
They're both petrol.
Yes.
I don't know what's the
No,
question.
the one.
I'll moor him after this for you.
Got to be more specific.
These youngsters,
Like this is cheeky,
got no respect for age.
That chair's a lot closer
No, he's
than
right.
the navigator.
No, the V8, not the V6.
With the, I really like the sound of the V8, and there's just something. We've got some clips of cars going around, but we're not going to play them now. We're going to play out. If you really want to hear some cars that you will never see on any other channel, just wait until the end of the show. There's a whole lot of clips, and there's even a mini in there, because we had to. And it's the same corner, and you get an idea between the Toyota. There's a T1. Glyn's got the turbo ones, but Terra Nova, or not Terra Nova, the other ones were the V8, and the V8 sounds so lacquer. I think they Audi need to take a soundtrack of the V8 and put that in the winding car.
Speakers on the outside.
Yeah, I mean they do it in all the road cars, and they play it on the inside.
Good question here from Jan Stradom, and this will probably go for you because you're going to be changing the wheels. What's the difference in the weight, those to those? And it also goes to the unsprung mass question of, what's your rotational mass? What are you looking at?
Yeah, I think they're lighter.
No, the big wheels, the big thing is about 25 kilos each.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
But they're lighter than the Pirellis that we normally race with. That's what he's thinking about. You see, I already know what he's thinking about without. That's why I'm understanding his language.
It's your navigator.
Yeah, I have to understand his language.
Quite good here.
Yeah, I know what he's thinking about. Yeah.
So, in the protocol, when you have a flat wheel change, we joke when the rally with the rally community that the
driver stays in the car.
The driver stays in the car.
That's correct.
But not in these cars.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Why not? Yeah.
You see.
I've got to press the button to lift the jack.
Yeah, someone has to
because
stay
those
in
buttons
the
are only on my side.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No, but you saw even with Henk. I won a stage. He had 2 punctures, and he had even to climb out. Imagine what time he did if he didn't have the 2 punctures, or if his door. Yes, that must have bothered him.
Yes,
all the dust and all that. Yes, and he still won the stage.
And we spoke to him before we started recording. He said he's battling with the idea of sometimes he doesn't know what fast is. So he said that yesterday he didn't think that they were that fast.
Yeah.
But he's blindingly quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so get back to the you've both got to get out, and jokes aside.
Yeah.
Because it's
obviously just quicker, So obviously we'll jump out depending on which wheel it is, left or right, of the side, But mainly Adrian will, and I'll go back, I'll fetch the wheel, give it to him, Often he'll give me the flat wheel back, and I'll try and put it back in. But for me, it's more important for me to get back into the car.
Yeah. Into the car, buckled and ready to go.
He just literally put it into, and then I'll come out and I'll put the wheel, fasten the wheel, go to the back, fasten the spare wheel, and by that time I'm in. He can already start moving, and
slowly
then I'll get in.
And we've got sort of an unspoken rule. I think it was the same with Johan, is that I don't start racing until I can hear him, and he'll plug in when he's ready.
Yes.
So up until that point,
he just goes at a reasonable pace, and
It's actually one of the worries of getting back in the car, because you want to take as little time as possible.
Yeah.
Because the more time that you not moving.
Because of the adrenaline.
And you but you've got to get all the belts in promptly.
Yes, 100%. Absolutely,
Because and we see a lot of the fines that are being given out on this race are gloves missing, seatbelts not done properly, fire extinguishers, pins still in it.
True.
You have to go 100% on that safety, because if something goes wrong, we really don't want. Steffi, are you still there?
I've
I'm absolutely still here.
Elvine has come in.
Yeah.
And she says, no way is a driver staying in a car while changing a puncture. Time and teamwork.
You see, I'm led to believe that there's another possibility of cars, South African cars at Dakar.
Yeah.
With, we're hoping that Ford America, when you're watching from America and from Germany, Ford, because Martin Prokop is doing a great job, but it's not good enough, and you need Woolridge Motorsport to come and bring their cars. They can bring 3 cars next year quite easily, just cost some few euros, and then we'll have a proper fight on our hands, because that's the one brand that's been missing properly from Dakar for a while.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and especially Neil's car. And it would be awesome if they could have a, you know, like a running team every year.
Are you going to run in the South African Cross Country Series this year?
No, yeah. We'll probably do a couple of regionals.
We'll probably, the Inland of the Championship,
Because I've got a Sharon, you know.
Yes. I'm a shared navigator.
He's got 2 wives.
Yes.
You know,
so you...
or 2 husbands. I'm not sure which one it is.
Aiming for a first wife, but I'm worried about his concentration.
So let's put it, he's got 2 husbands now. He's got
so
Lance
you're going to
and
carry
me,
on with Lance?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see, hopefully.
No. I mean, because, you know, because we'll only get the car in April, if we're lucky, you know. I hope Stuart's not listening. You know.
I hope he's listening.
Yes, yeah.
No,
he said March.
Yes,
So,
benefit of the doubt,
Did Stuart commit to March, finished?
Yeah.
What, the chassis or the complete car?
Originally, you know, so,
No pressure.
No, it's already April now, so
And when is Chart moving to Joburg to assemble it?
in April,
February?
Chart doesn't know it yet.
On the
but
1st of
we've got-
April?
Yes, 1st of April, yes. So we're going to start building.
And it's no
like I
joke,
said.
it's a
It's
Friday.
exciting times seeing a thing go from a pile of, because I believe it's a pile of tubes on the floor at the moment.
Yeah.
Cut and notched and
Yes,
ready to go.
Yes,
And then it's when that other project...
But the build, I mean, can we talk about that other project?
Simon has a secret project that,
Okay,
I
yes.
mean, that's going to be another exciting car.
Yes, hopefully you'll be there as well next year with that project car.
Simon, if you're watching, come in and try and tell us about your car tomorrow. It'll be brilliant. Come in that white car of yours, because it's very lacquer and we want to see it. The series, the cross-country series, is looking seriously strong here. I mean, you had a first go in this.
Yeah, one of them.
How much luxury was having windscreen and doors?
With us, coming from the special
birdcage.
vehicles without the windscreen and everything sitting in this, it was just a complete difference.
And you noticed the difference in performance immediately?
Yeah, no, definitely. With the suspension on this car and the handling and the horsepower, it's worlds apart. I mean, the bat that we race in is older than 10 years, and then coming into this car that's a year old, it's complete difference. When we went testing, I flew down to Durban, and I visited Lance on the farm, and on the Saturday we spent like 30 Ks in the car, and because we were busy tweaking the suspension, and after that we sat down for lunch, and we literally, it was like this. We sat like that and we didn't talk. And his wife Sandra, she was sitting at the table and she asked him, "Listen, what's happening with you two?" And we said, we just flabbergasted, because it's just so much better than what we used to.
I mean, unless you know, you don't know.
Yes.
And that's always the bad thing about going for a test drive in a new car, because all of a sudden you know what is available, and then this thing that is
that
you love so much.
Yeah.
But it's outdated and stuff. But she's brought us a lot of glory, and we've won the South African Championship with her twice now. But I think she's getting long in her teeth, and with Lance's goal as well, I think this is the way to go, definitely.
Yeah, a good, solid upgrade. And thanks for letting us use it.
Wonderful, I know.
It's magic. We go for a spin in it every night.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
It's quite lacquer.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about the focus of the lights.
And
when it hits the rev limit, the problem is that
in 60
tomorrow morning we have to go to the airport to get avgas, and I mean, we've used about 180 litres in it already.
Yeah, well, this tank's big enough.
Julian, we haven't run it at all. We've just started it twice. Just relax.
Okay, the potholes are another issue of this car.
Yes.
This is an ideal Joburg car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to upgrade. It's going to be our daily
At
car.
Presley's is parking on the pavement car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is, what's that coffee shop that all the Buts go to on a Saturday morning and a Sunday morning, and they park outside,
Yes, yeah.
and they whatever, and they bring their bonnets. I mean, with a door like that,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
this is just a magnet of note. Right, guys, moving on. Steffi, we needed some last things about bikes. I'm sorry, we just got sidetracked with cars. You know me, I've got a two-track mind, and cars is one of them.
I'm more than happy. It's so interesting listening to Hennie and Adrian and Johan, and I cannot wait to follow you guys. Come on, I'll get to the Dakar. Alvin, if you're still there, I'm going to be tracking you next year, girl. Wait for this, watch this space.
See, all the women gang together, which is actually, it's great having more women involved in motorsport, because we don't, it's all cool. Right, bikes.
Do we still have time for any more videos, or should we wrap up? Where are we at?
I think I've just got told, let's do it. So you've got some very interesting bits and pieces, not bits and pieces, some very interesting insights on your bike, guys. What's up first, Steffi?
I think let's have a look at what Bradley Cox had to say today. You know, this Alfie's son is just doing the most amazing job out there. I mean, he's punching way above his weight, and he's absolutely up to it. So let's have a listen to what Brad said about today.
Okay, Brad, you guys are all home early in a procession. Obviously, you all came home. Looks like it was a fun 200 k's on the road. Reflect on today, man. What's happened?
Yeah, I got to the first refuel at kilometer 101, and yeah, they said stage cancelled. Well, Van Beveren came to me when I was putting in fuel, and he said, "Hey, the stage is cancelled." And I said, "Really?" And I mean, he's French, so he would know. And then 2 minutes later, Sanders and Sunderland were coming back from the checkpoint. They got sent back. So yeah, I don't know why the organisers did it, because already we know that it's a bit silly to do it. But we did the stage yesterday, and the cars did the stage we did today, and then we were doing like a swap. So it was all destroyed from from the cars and trucks. It was really dangerous.
So was there rocks in the sand?
In the sand, and big steps, and I mean, you can imagine almost 100 cars go through, a couple side-by-sides, trucks. It's just destroyed, and it was pretty dangerous. But yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do. So anyway, yeah, we waited because the top 9 had passed the refuel, so we waited. They had to come back 50 kilometers or so. The helicopter went and stopped them. I don't know what they're going to do. If they're going to go to back, if they're just going to can the stage, I don't know.
So Brad, what's the story? Because I believe 3 k's off the start line there was a step, and it was not marked in the road book.
Yeah, well, obviously
So
from the cars,
Petrucci
and Ross were 1 and 2, and they both flung it there. And yeah, shame Ross is, had to. Yeah, he's not in a. Well, he's okay, but he's not good. He's out of the race from it. So, well, that's what we've heard. So it's not good, and just that type of stuff happens when the cars go through. It destroys the ground, and rocks come up, and steps come up, and it was definitely a double, even a triple caution, and they hit it flat out. So I think the organisers did the right decision, but obviously it's a bit of a mess.
Well, we live to see another day, and rest day tomorrow. Well, you got 2 rest days. I've prepared the water in the bucket so you can start washing your kit.
I'm going to McDonald's now.
You're going to McDonald's? No, you guys are not. You're all going together.
I'm going to McDonald's.
Hey, what can you do? Racers, youngsters, eh? Paul?
Thanks,
what about you, boy?
Good.
The bikers got nothing.
It's not only the youngsters, Alfie. We had a magnificent feast of McDonald's cheeseburgers for lunch. But Steffi, Stuart Gregory is our embedded reporter in the Malimoto area. And what's he got for us?
Well, you know what, Cole, before we go there as well, we're going to go there right away, but I'm just, it's a race day tomorrow. We've got 401 kilometers of racing to Aldawa Monday. Have a look at Stuart's take, our resident cameraman and updater. I'm so proud of Stuart. He's doing a solid job out there in the Malimoto. Have a look at this.
Hey guys, day's done. I think you all probably already know. Stage got cancelled after 100k, so we had the bike wash. Bernard's washing his bike, about to wash mine. I don't know if you with the local. Yeah, I had a good stage. I was pushing really hard, so I think I passed 10 people in like 80k's and made up 40 positions. So yeah, I pushed quite hard today. Pity it wasn't longer. I'd like to have done a bit better. I was really out on a bit of a mission, but yeah, it's what it is. Got cut a bit short. Yeah, I hope Ross is alright. Shame he had a big crash on his bike at the beginning. A bit worried, but seems nothing's broken. So Ross, I hope you're better if you're watching this and you get well soon. And yeah, I'll post some more stuff now. We've got quite a bit of time off for the next day and a half.
Hey, what a character that boy is.
Academia Nut Farm is having a ball out there, and I just want to reiterate his words. You know, all the best to Team Branch and Rossi. And it's been a fantastic evening. I've loved every minute of it. I wish we had another hour.
Tomorrow we will have many more other hours. For you guys watching, the plan for tomorrow, it's a rest day for the Dakar. They call it a rest. Let's rather call it a non-racing day. In trying to set up interviews for tomorrow, I was told by everybody it's super hectic. So it's super hectic over there. We're going to be in the studio sometime-ish, around midday-ish, until mid-afternoon-ish. And it's very exact timing. Our idea is that we've invited a whole lot of people to talk to us, mainly from Saudi. 1 or 2 in-studio guests. You're more than welcome to join us through the day. It's unstructured, it's freestyle. This is Dakar fun, and it's the time that we are really going to have a blast. But for now, Steffi Vetter, you need your rest because tomorrow is a long day. It's a marathon day tomorrow. Steffi, thank you so much. And remember, just those guys who watch, that's Steffi. She does the SA Southern African Dakar Group day blow-by-blow stuff. There's no tracking tomorrow because the cars are all there. Steffi, have a great evening. Thanks for your insights. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone. It's been fantastic. I'll see you again on Sunday.
Cheers. That woman knows people that I didn't even know exist. They're absolutely brilliant.
And your passion for this race,
it's just,
and for all our Southern African competitors is second to none.
Yeah, she's like the mommy hen of all the motorbike riders, and she knows, if you ever know, well, you guys know. Question.
We are good at the moment. We don't have any.
As long as all the viewers are behaving themselves. So we've got a marathon day today. But I think that we need to get into the final stretch.
They haven't had a marathon stage.
No, they cancelled it.
Yeah.
Which is why there's still so many. Well, a big reason I think.
Makes a big difference when you have it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hennie, I mean, it just goes blank. Johan, have they invited you to go to Dakar next year? Are you in the travelling party?
They mentioned something. I don't know if I'm still. I'll be available, you know. So.
I think you really should go as an experienced person to hold hands and make sure everything just goes right.
Yeah, I hope Adrian will do his part. You know.
I'm sure you will.
Except for the navigation, to keep him in cool is quite a job.
Before we move away from navigation, on that point, we've got Bernard van den Doel asking, how do we rate Tay Perry as a navigator this year? How do you think she's getting on? I mean, I know she's moved overseas and is running under a German license and so on.
I personally think Tay's got a lot of experience due to the fact that she did motorbike riding on her own. To ride a bike and navigate, that is in a different class. So I think she's got some advantages to us, and I think she's good. I don't really know why they in the position they are at the moment. I can't really see why, because normally Cyril is quite fast.
Yeah.
So, and I can't think they can blame the navigator. There's something
I think
else.
the car is relatively old.
Maybe that's the main reason.
You know, it's like fashion. The cars are good, and if you don't keep developing them, you just go backwards. We don't know, but we shall put that on the list for us to find out.
But one thing that I can say, Tay's got guts. she doesn't give up. I mean, when we were racing in 2020, at one day she was towed for 300 kilometers in racing stages. It was just unreal for that little girl to keep the bike going. It was amazing.
I think that's the Dakar character is never ever give up.
Yeah.
No, you can't give up.
Yeah.
I mean, when we saw it, she had 100 kilometers to go, and it was small dunes. I think it was about 100. You know, it was, and then someone, because she had bike problems, the bike, they couldn't get the bike, and then somehow.
Must be terrifying. You're sitting behind a truck, and those 9,000 kilogram trucks.
Yeah.
You don't know whether you've got a biker still there or
not
not.
even a car. I mean, we were towed the last 80 kilometers.
Yeah.
They don't feel you behind them. You can't see.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, look at that. Remember that?
Good old days, yeah? Those cage guys are famous, huh?
Very. They even helped the guy picking up his car in this place as well.
They're nice guys.
Those are great, I'd say.
I think they, listen to it. I mean,
luckily they weren't out.
They were still at gears.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Right, guys. All the very best of luck. We'll be following closely.
Exciting times. We're looking forward to it.
And
thanks for the support, Colin.
It's an absolute pleasure. When your new team member, Kobus van Tonde, comes along, we want to meet him. We believe he's a good oak. And
it's a bit small, but it's good.
I'll never forget.
Dynamite.
I'll never forget his name.
Colin likes small packages.
Yeah.
I just want to congratulate Adrian for getting the opportunity, and I wish you all the luck. You need it.
I can just see he's like a kid who's got Christmas. And then we know where you're going to be on January the 1st, 2023.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much for coming and joining us. And thank you for bringing Benjamin. I get to see Benjamin once a year, the friendliest, nicerest Labrador. He is a Labrador, eh? Yeah.
Mostly, yes,
Well, Labradorish.
Labrador, right?
Yes,
Labrador.
No, we don't go with lap dogs and lap dancing and lap.
You have to get him a Facebook page or something. He's got a big following.
We need to get him a Raceday cap. So, Andrew, last thoughts from you?
I'm thrilled for Giniel. Most of our viewers are thrilled for Giniel. I think it opens that up.
All of our viewers are thrilled for Giniel. And all of our viewers who dissed him will have apologized by now, haven't you?
I think they're all sulking. But
if they sulk, remember, DBAC. Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate the time. And thanks for bringing friends, because we love a crowd. Andrew, well done. Thank you. To Fritz, and to Peter, and to Henk, and to our own Captain Grumpy at the back, and our catering department, thank you very much today. Makeup, not so much anymore. Transport, you did well. And for watching, thank you for joining us. This has been Raceday Dakar coverage. It's been fun. Join us tomorrow for a freestyle day. Remember, be nice, be kind, and do a random act of kindness. Have a good evening. Cheers.